And good morning. Welcome to the Out and About Show on 1590 KVGB. I'm your host today, Steve Webster. As today we will be visiting with our friends from the South, Stafford County. Carolyn Dunn, Executive Director of Stafford County Economic Development, and Sydney Blanton, the Program Director for Stafford County Economic Development, joining us for this Thanksgiving Day program here on 1590 KVGB. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Well, get ready for a good day of food and football games and parades and all of that. But glad you're here today, guys. And I thought, along with the Thanksgiving theme, Carolyn and Sydney, let's go ahead and what do we do on Thanksgiving, right? We give thanks, right?
There are many things that I'm thankful for.
A lot of things.
The family and friends, of course, those are the most important things. And what I'm focused on today. But since we are talking about economic development, I do have a few things in that realm that I'm thankful for this year as well. And one of them I'm going to lead with is that our school enrollment is up. That's one of our key indicators of whether growth is occurring or not. And last year I had looked, school enrollment was up in the 2012-13 school year. That was the first time since 1996, which was the time frame for which records were readily available. It may have even been longer than that. But it was the first time that we'd had increased or steady enrollment in all three school districts of the county. And I think I can make that claim again this year. The school enrollment numbers are still not official yet, but the preliminary indicators are that that's the second year in the row that that's happened. And for, looking back over close to 20 years. So I am thankful for that.
That is big. And that would be for the, we're talking St. John, Hudson, Stafford, and Maxville.
That's correct.
And it was a big year, too, because Stafford hadn't been to the football playoffs in 100 years either. And they got in there this year.
That was exciting.
That was really cool. St. John got him a state basketball championship last year, and Maxville's always been competitive in all those sports. So there's the sports view of it, okay?
People, that's what else
people
gets a lot of energy going, too.
Is there, can you put a finger on it? You're just saying, okay, because one of the things you've said, Carolyn, since, we've talked is, we're not going to go out. It'd be nice, to have Ford put a manufacturing plant in Stafford County, but it's just little improvement, little bit at a time. So that's got to be great news.
It is. And it isn't any one big thing, but there are several businesses that have either expanded or started. I could even point to one other thing that I'm thankful for, which is that Sydney has joined our county. She's moved here from Wichita and is one of those people that is now contributing her talents and time, and I'm thankful for that. But there's one
newcomer
example of just little by little, we're gonna one job at a time knock it out.
What are you thankful for today, Sydney?
I'm definitely thankful for this position and being a part of Stafford County and being able to meet all the great people in the community and living that rural lifestyle.
Okay, and you mentioned the rural lifestyle because when you live in Wichita, you have an impression of what a rural lifestyle is, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when you just look back when you first got this position, and you used to living in the Wichita area, what maybe are some of the things that you found true when you came to Stafford County that you didn't, I guess that you didn't have in your mind when you came down? Maybe some inaccurate things of what you thought rural America was about.
I think I was mainly right on about it. My impression would be that it'd be a small town with limited travel time. I could walk to work if I wanted to. I definitely thought more people would walk and be out and about, and more people actually use their cars.
Their pickups out here, okay.
Yeah, their trucks. Yep, that's true. There's a lot of John Deere fans.
Yes.
I don't think I realized that.
And I see a lot more purple than I do Sydney's. She's got some black and yellow in the office.
No Wichita State fans out here, by the way,
That's the biggest
Sydney,
thing
okay?
I noticed was K-State is everywhere, so I'll show them with my black and
There's
gold.
plenty of Jayhawks around here, too, okay? So, and the city manager here in Great Bend, Howard Partington, if you ever need to find a Shocker fan or somebody like that, Howard's right there. Mr. Shocker here in Great Bend. Carolyn Dunn joining us, Sydney Blanton from Stafford County Economic Development. Anything else that you're thankful for after it's been a busy year for you guys. You've got a lot done.
Well, I will underscore the idea that we have had some incremental growth in small ways, and that comes from the hard work of those who are leading businesses, leading organizations. So I'm going to underscore that I'm thankful for the work that they do day in and day out to keep things moving and growing. And then we've gotten some good financial support this year for some of our ideas. They're just, somewhat getting started. It's just been within the last 2 or 3 months that we've gotten several grant announcements. So from our perspective, those projects are just now really getting going. But I'm thankful for that. We've gotten 2 major housing grants. Gray's Studio in St. John has gotten a grant award that will allow them to renovate that building, and that will be another example of a new organization and another couple jobs and some new economic activity. We're just, I don't know, I'm thankful for the financial support that allows those things to get started.
How old's your office now?
Going back to the very beginning, we started out in a little office in the back of Farm Bureau Insurance and a $15,000 budget in 2011. Is that right? Was it 2010 or 11?
Right around there,
yeah. But it was 2010, and then in 2011 was when we were able to get our official articles of incorporation adopted, and 2012 we got our 501c3, and so each year I guess has been something significant. 2013 is when Sydney joined us.
So yeah, you're just growing bigger all the time. Has the reception been much? I mean, I would think the reception now has been okay. You start an office, but it's kind of like, okay, we got one. Now let's see what they're going to do. I would think that the reception is much better. And people are getting excited behind Stafford County Economic Development.
And I think especially as we look into this coming year when we're actually going to be building houses that people can see in the community, and they can see that this dilapidated building in our downtown area, the historic Gray Studio, will be renovated. I think even more people will start to understand what we've all been building toward and how it's feasible. Sometimes people will kind of, the skeptics might have said,
there's no skeptics out there, are there?
It's too hard. What are we really going to be able to do? But if we can actually show some results in a concrete way that people can see, then I think that maybe it'll all the more just
the momentum will keep rolling. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Carolyn Dunn joining us here today on the Out and About Show, and Sydney Blanton. We will take a break. We will have more of today's show right after this. Welcome back once again to the Out and About Show for today. Joined in studio by Carolyn Dunn, Executive Director of Stafford County Economic Development, and Program Director Sydney Blanton joining us today. Sydney, I know you've been very busy. At least that's what Carolyn tells me anyway. Tell me what you're working on right now.
Right now, one of the biggest things I've been focused on is attracting alumni and newcomers to Stafford County.
Okay, alumni and newcomers. Tell me what constitutes an alumni. I mean, is it of a school or an alumni of a town or the county?
I say both. Right now we're focused on building a database of alumni for the 3 school systems in Stafford County, but then we also want to add people who are alumni to the community and get them engaged and back to Stafford County.
Now, is this just something that you're looking for databases, or a database to build, or names and places and addresses and things like that?
Yep, that's the beginning stages of this. Is we want to form a database and get everyone's information, and then from there we can reach out to them if we know their occupation, or if we know they're interested in coming back. We can kind of set them up for success to moving back to Stafford County. From there, we also want to do events. Carolyn and I have brainstormed a basketball tournament event in the future, maybe a year or 2 from now, where we can get alumni back and maybe have the past state championship teams for basketball compete against the current teams at the schools. So that would be something fun to bring people back and really connect them to Stafford County.
And are there, is it going to be a newsletter that they can get each month, just keeping them connected?
We actually just started a monthly newsletter for Stafford County Economic Development, and we started that for November, so please sign up. You can sign up on our Facebook page. And so we'll be focused on many things, what we're doing for Stafford County Economic Development, as well as keeping up with alumni and where people are at, what they have done. If people have new kids, new families, different things.
How's this project going so far? I mean, I'm sure you're probably still looking and taking names and things like that for people.
As with all projects, it's a process, so it's going to take a while to really build that. But it's going well. We have good support with the schools and different organizations. So,
tell me what you do for newcomers. Well, go ahead, Carolyn.
Well, I was just going to say that, there have been surveys that have been done on youth in rural areas. And I think maybe sometimes the conventional wisdom is that from the adults that live here is that the kids they see better opportunity elsewhere. But if you actually ask the kids, what do they think of their town, and would they like to live there as an adult, they have a positive impression of their town, and B, more than half of them say they would like to return when they are an adult. They just don't know for sure what the opportunity is. So that's, I think, our job is to help connect the dots and show them what those opportunities are. Because if nobody else does, then they do. They move away, and that's part of where our youth out-migration problem stems from, is that we're maybe not doing all that could be done to communicate to them the opportunities that are there. And sometimes that's in business transitions. That can be a big deal in rural areas when someone is ready to retire. If they don't know who to transition the business to, then it may just close its doors. And
that goes back to something that happened. I mean, you had that story about a person that, he wanted to sell his business, and who knew that it was out there until someone found out about it?
There's a nice story in Atwood that I've used several times about a pharmacy. And that pharmacist didn't have someone that he knew of to sell his business to. And his plan was going to be just to shut the doors and be done with it. When the economic development director got involved, he helped find someone that was ready, that wanted to move back to a small town, was tired of the rat race. And once he put those together, then it maintained a service that's a critical service in a town. It was a part of job creation and growth. The family came back with kids for the school system. It was just the story you kind of want to see. And we have examples of that here. I don't think it's any secret, I have an attorney that's talked to me over the years. He's now well into his 80s. He's, everybody's got to retire at some point, know, and he would transition his business to someone if we could find that someone. So
that's where the alumni database comes in, but also bringing in the youth in their perspective and views. So we eventually want to form an alumni committee where we can involve those who are currently in high school now. So if we can keep up with them and what they want to do in the future, connect that back to this area. So if we do have a senior in high school right now who eventually wants to be a lawyer, maybe we can connect them and do that for future businesses.
Little mentoring things going on there. Do we do this? And Great Bend's, what you're talking about is not just in Stafford County. I'm sure we do it in Great Bend too. Do we maybe sometimes as parents or even a community say, to be successful, you need to go off and leave our town and leave our county and sometimes leave our state? Do we do that to them?
That's part of the results of the surveys too that have been done. I think that they've surveyed kids throughout the Midwest. 39 counties, 7 states, something of such. But part of the results that they would say is that the kids are saying, we're interested in coming back, but the adults are telling us that to be successful, we should go somewhere else. So there is a disconnect between what we kind of, I think, want to have happen. We want our communities to continue to exist and thrive. But sometimes the message we're conveying to the people that can help us do that is not helping.
I guess there was one organization, of course, I guess it's just one you remember because I don't even know if there's one even in Great Bend anymore, but Welcome Wagon, you came in, you had all this. But that's kind of what you're wanting to do in Stafford County for newcomers to your area. Yeah,
and St. John, Stafford both have welcome packets at the office, but we would like, if we can, people in the community know of addresses and new people around, we would like to go to their house and welcome them with a welcome packet and just introduce ourselves to them and our services.
Tell me what Brookfield, Missouri did.
they did something great. They decided to show that the youth are important to their community and they value their time there and would love for them to return. They organized with the community to reach out to them with mailboxes at their graduation, as well as letters from the community members signifying that they matter and they care. So at graduation, they received personalized mailboxes, and the gesture was to show that we want you to move back here and put that mailbox up after you graduate. And so there's actually an example from that where a student replied saying, as he was in school and going through struggles, that letter from the community, knowing that they support him and care about him, really encouraged him to keep going through and return to the area and bring business.
And I think that student, if I'm not mistaken, was a medical student, no less. One of those professions that we really work so hard at recruiting back to rural areas. I think I've shared before an example of a young woman from Arkansas who was also an example of where mentoring mattered, and she was going to come back to her rural area. The program had kind of been established with the philosophy of, for a long time, we've tried to recruit doctors to rural areas, and it doesn't work very well. Why not get people in rural areas interested in medicine and use that as a strategy to get doctors in rural areas? So there you go. A mailbox was also an example of how that was working well.
I can't wait to see what Sydney comes up with, I mean, just, you always find yourself thinking, okay, how could we do that? I mean,
we thought about just doing that idea, but then there's this book I received recently from Carolyn called The Butterfly Effect. And she wrote a great note inside of it about how I matter, and it was just really meaningful. So if we could give that to the students with a letter from a community member, an individualized letter saying how we care about you and we care about your future and you mean a lot to our community, I think that could really show that they do mean a lot and they want to come back.
If someone is a Stafford County alumni or a newcomer and maybe hasn't been contacted, can they get in touch with you guys?
Yes.
We have a new feature on our website, actually, that's going to make this very easy to sign up for our newsletter. On our website, StaffordEcoDevo.com.
I love that name. It's easy. StaffordEcoDevo.com. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead, Carolyn.
It's StaffordEcoDevo.com, in case that doesn't sound intuitive. But on the very top of the homepage, there is an envelope that says subscribe, and if you click on that, you can just submit your email address. We don't ask for any more information than just an email address, unless you want to fill out more alumni information
yes.
as you kind of click through. But just to get the email or to get the newsletter, an email address is all you need to do.
Or visit Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook is a pretty good place. And how's that been going, the Facebook? You getting more friends, people liking you and things?
We are. I think we're getting great feedback on Facebook. We're interacting with a lot of different people.
Okay, again, we're talking with Carolyn Dunn and Sydney Blanton on the show today. Carolyn, before you guys take off today, tell me about the Kansas income tax credits still available. Is that going well?
It is going well, and yet we do still have a few available. So what this is an opportunity to reduce your Kansas income tax liability by through a tax credit. I'll use an example of how it works. If you give $1,000 to Stafford County Economic Development through the community service tax credit that we have, you could reduce your Kansas income tax liability by $700, 70%. And you could also deduct the value of your charitable contribution from your federal taxes. So it's a nice way to be able to support what we're doing in economic development in Stafford County without it really costing anything different than it would probably be, you'd be probably paying for taxes anyway. And this is how we're going to fund the rental housing development that we're working on in Stafford County.
And that'll be neat once like you said, when people start seeing things going up, that's when the excitement even grows, I would imagine.
I hope so. I'm excited.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back with our final segment today on Focus on Stafford County. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, Out and About Show. Steve Webster with you. Carolyn Dunn, Sydney Blanton with us in studio today. Okay, we got these entrepreneurship kids, which you've started very, very early with them. Tell me about what's going on with your entrepreneurship class that's been taking place.
Oh, well, we have... These kids are really interested in starting their businesses, and they want to get going now, and they really want to...
Sure.
They want to know what to do, so to really set them up for success and give them some experience for Christmas, they would like to start some businesses. So
people are thinking, what the kids are starting businesses.
Yeah.
Wait a second. How old are these kids?
Oh, 4th through 8th grade.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And it's more than a lemonade stand when you drive through St. John then, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We have them planning the financials, setting up the costs, how much do they need to sell them for to get their cost and profit. So
they're going to do a couple of services
Mm-hmm.
some small projects that you can carry out here before the Christmas holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be doing some gift wrapping. And
Stafford is the school in Stafford. The kids are going to get coffee cups, and they're going to make their own hot cocoa mix and put that in there and decorate them with cute little tags and sell them. And in St. John, they're going to make candles. So we have our own candle ingredients and everything that needs to go into it. We've ordered everything, and they're going to make their own. They picked out their own scents and everything and colors, and then they're going to wrap gifts as well.
That entrepreneurship class is, I'm sure you get a lot of calls on that from other places in the state, don't you? I mean, that has been just really, really successful and neat getting these kids started so early.
Well, we're trying to do some new things, and it builds on an idea that we've done here and others have done in terms of an entrepreneurship camp. But we thought that we might be able to deepen the experience even more by having it be something that they were doing throughout the school year. We have some good after-school programs that it fit very well into. So I think it's doing very, very well. I don't know. I have actually been asked by a couple of other economic development agencies about what we're doing here, and she's just doing some really great things with them.
Since you were named, Carolyn, I'm economic development executive director. I mean, you've got to be really happy with the way things have gone here the last couple of years. I mean, you get some momentum going.
We do. It's gratifying to see that we're growing. We're growing, and we've got some great ideas in the pipeline. Hopefully, we can continue to bring new announcements here each month.
Yep.
Well, we will look forward to talking with you. Happy Thanksgiving to both of you.
You too.
And we will find Stafford County Economic Development, StaffordEcoDevo.com, right?
That's right.
It?
Yeah, that's right. If you are interested in this,
everybody can remember it, even me. Stafford EcoDevo, right?
And if someone is interested in those tax credits, the phone number to call me at is 620-549-3527, or email cdunn@StaffordEcoDevo.com.
Guys, thanks for coming up here today. Also find them on Facebook. That's this week's Focus on Stafford. This month's Stafford Focus on Stafford County. I'm the professional here, guys. Remember that. Have a great Thanksgiving, everyone. For 1590 KVGB, I'm Steve Webster.